Hello, beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast, episode number 299. We are one day before a big milestone of 300 days, and I'm puzzled how can I celebrate it tomorrow, because I think I should. Obviously, for most of people it won't be a big deal, and obviously I don't want it to be also, you know, too hyped about because it's journaling. I journal every day, so I was expecting that 300 days to come at some stage, but yet I think those milestones are important to be recognized just for the sake of, good habit, keeping up, maintaining that routine and making sure that it works. Also, having those milestones and planning for some changes to improve the routine is very important. So I treat any milestone as an opportunity to stick some new change or slightly different element to the whole thing. So it's 299 days so far, unbroken streak of writing and recording the podcast. Also, I just checked that across all the video updates that I've done, which this one is 77th video episode and audio episode of a podcast. Well, sorry. It's a 77th video update and episode of the podcast, but obviously the audio is exactly the same number as the write-ups, which is 299. I started regular video updates on May 3rd, according to YouTube. So I didn't track this one and had to check to make sure that it was that day. Because other updates, there were like 4 video updates prior to that streak that I have at the moment, but they were scattered randomly. I think one was in 2022 in December, and then 3 another episodes randomly between January and May happened somewhere. But on May 3rd, I recorded another one that I was expecting to be random and then the gap again. But the next day, I followed up with another video update, and the next day, and it turned out to be another habit that piled up on top of the existing one. And while initially I was thinking that it will be hard to get video updates every day, I didn't realize how I can piggyback on the video updates. So it won't be actually more work, but probably exactly the same with added benefits. Because what I do is basically I record this video on standard Mac camera, and Spotify allows me to upload the video file, because some of you know, some maybe not, that Spotify has, despite being an audio platform and having audio podcasts, it also allows for video podcasts. One of the examples, if any of you watches Joe Rogan Experience, this is one of the many podcasts that are in video format available on Spotify as well. So when I upload the video, Spotify does everything for me. it creates separate video and audio version for Spotify, which people can listen only or actually turn the video on. And then it separates the audio track and pushes that, because it's my main platform for the podcast with the RSS feed. It pushes that to other platforms like Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, etc., because I set it up like that. So I still do the same thing. I record this episode, but in video format, but Spotify automates everything and pushes that for me. The only thing I need to do extra is to upload it to YouTube separately, but it was the case anyway, because this is how YouTube works. It's not audio only. So this is the way I am and how this journey is going. I won't be boring you too much with details, because there's not much to update you on. If you like statistics and how the numbers look and how the journey structures itself between the core habits, as I call them, and the satellite habits, go ahead to the description. There's a link there to the blog post, which is broken down into some of the data that I can provide around that, and I summarized it slightly around those core habits and the satellite routines. But tomorrow, I still don't know what can I do to make it a worthy 300 Spartan episode of Blunt Force Healing. So today's updates will be also short. The day was mostly very, very wet. Albeit from the very beginning it was okay, it was quite on the dry side. Julian participated in the last day of the soccer summer camp. So the boys had a very nice first 2 hours up until midday, when it all fell down, and well, actually water fell down from the skies, and it didn't stop until very late evening. So I've checked the back garden and we have real swamp there, because the water has nowhere to go. The soil is so wet and soaked that the water cannot drain. So it was enough water for today. I hope tomorrow will be a little bit on the dry side, especially in the morning, to let that water go away. So after the soccer camp, the guys were completely wet. They were rewarded with the FAI balls. Each of the boys could take boys and girls could take the ball home with them as part of the whole soccer camp. So that was great, and they left happily. But also we planned today for a play date. So Julian's classmate was also participating in that soccer camp, and his mother kind of brought clothes for him to change in the dressing room of the football club or the soccer club. And I took him with Julian to our house and organized a little bit of fun for the kids. Obviously, the weather didn't allow for any activities outdoors, so it was mostly indoors, and the guys spent a lot of time playing console, having some sweets, and eating my creation for dinner, which was cottage pie. It turned out pretty good, I guess, because Julian's friend not only liked it, but he said it was I was afraid because it's not the national dish in Poland. I learned it here in Ireland. It's more of the kind of Irish and British type of dish, and I was happy to hear that it was in par with what he ate in his life, and then he added, but this was actually better, and that kind of lifted me up a little bit because children, they have that sort of, I think, honesty in what they say. They tend to not overthink what they need to say and not make it politically correct in most cases. So their opinions, while they might be skewed sometimes or kind of, glossed over a little bit, they are usually a better and more trustworthy opinions than of the adults, I think. So that was very pleasant to hear. I was happy that I met the expectations. The guy spent a lovely time. His mother picked him up around 6 p.m. We had a lovely chat between myself, my wife, and his mother as well. So it was great to have that chat as well and that exchange. And we will be planning probably for the next play date at their house in some time. For now, a little bit of rest. No plans for Saturday and Sunday. The weather is likely to be wet, but it's actually good because I don't feel well. I still have sore throat after yesterday and today, and I want to properly sit down and write the blog post tomorrow and record a nice episode as well. So stay tuned. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Cheers.